Hello everyone, my name is PolishLynx. Let's continue with Everlasting Summer. I recovered from this burst of rage only when my hands were hurting badly and my lips were bitten until they bled. And the most interesting thing is that all my unbelievable awakening in an unknown pioneer camp has turned into the most trivial life drama. A drama as stupid as my entire existence. Yet again I did something wrong, I thought something wrong, and they got it all wrong. Fine then, just let everything be. Nobody was near the canteen. I sighed in relief and took a place in the farthest corner, hoping that nobody would see me. Somehow stuffing my breakfast in, I was about to leave already when Miku dashed up to my table. Oh, good morning, Semyon. I can't oversleep today. Can I take a place here next to you? She sat down right straight away. Well, I'm kind of leaving already. Is it true that you and Slavia are like that? Well, you know what I'm talking about. She stared at me closely, blinking her eyes. Who told you that? Well, one would expect the rumors to spread fast. But not that fast. I started to slowly go into rage mode. I heard it from Zenia, and she probably heard it from Chezakov. He heard it from Olga Dimitrievna. I don't want you to misunderstand me. It's not my business, but if you don't want to, then don't answer. But if it's not a secret... You're right, I don't want to answer. I stood up and quickly headed towards the exit. It was a hot day. This amplified my anger since I don't like the heat. Right now, though, anything could drive me out of my wits. But I had to make up my mind now on how to conduct myself. I didn't want to run to anyone, so I went to the forest where I could think calmly. Having stopped in a glade, I sat on a stump, took a stick and started to pick at the ground with it. If there is nothing that's up to me, all I can do is simply wait. But, in fact, what can I do? Assault the infirmary? Even if I succeeded, what comes next? Try to bring Olga Dimitrievna to her senses? Hardly possible. Funnily enough, this whole enigma turned into a simple everyday situation. If it was happening in my world, there would be no problems at all. Come on, really, what's the problem? Even if I did sleep with the girl, who cares? Even if I was actually 17. Even then, nothing terrible would happen anyway. It would be slightly more awkward, but still tolerable. And now what? I'm not the master of my fate. Although, was I ever? Is there anything at all that was up to me in my entire life? Have I ever reached any peak that I was seeking? And now, once I've reached one, I can't hold my ground. Maybe I was just a spectator from the very beginning. My mystical appearance in this camp, all the local residents, all the events that happened to me. All that is just a weird game, and I'm only a pawn. Well, if that is so, I will still play out my role to the best, to my best. I got up and headed to the camp, prepared to take no prisoners. The plan wasn't completely finished in my head, but I've made up my mind already. There was no one at the camp leader's cabin. I rummaged through the cabinets and packed up a sleeping bag, my winter clothes, a flashlight and some other garments I found. I came out and immediately ran straight into Alisa. Going for a hike? Yeah, for a hike. I reassured her. Well, take care. She gave me a sly smile and went on her way. I hastened my steps to the infirmary. The nurse is a human to Indian, so eventually she will go to lunch. I hid in the bushes, waiting. Time flew by fast. My thoughts have settled and I had a firm decision. I haven't thought my plan out beyond the first steps, I simply didn't care. The most important thing is that I act the way I think is appropriate and whatever happens next, let it happen. At last the nurse came out of the infirmary. She looked around and, noticing no danger, locked the infirmary with a key and quickly went towards the canteen. As she went around the corner, I got to the window in a few bounds and started to tactically knock on it. Slavia showed up soon. Semyon, what are you doing here? You're not allowed to... How are you feeling? I'm fine. But Olga Dmitrievna told me to stay here for another day. She told me something completely different. Okay, get up, I said with confidence. What are you talking about? What for? She asked fearfully. Get out now, I will explain everything later. She looked at me closely for a while, but then opened the window without further argument. I helped her to jump down to the ground. Okay, what next? Let's go. I grabbed her hand and made my way to the forest. Slavia stopped a few minutes later. Semyon, just what are we doing? What's wrong? Do you think everything was right the way it was? No, I don't, but it will be even worse this way. Why? We have a right to act the way we think is correct. Okay, but what will happen next? I haven't thought about it yet. Every step in my plan had gone quite well until now, but I wasn't keep on thinking even one step ahead. Take a look. I opened the bag and showed the things I took from the camp leader's cabin. And? Slavia looked at me inquiringly. I don't know. We'll stay in the forest for a while. Show them that our opinion matters. But that's stupid and childish. Well, if you don't want to. She gave me a lamentable look. I'll do as you say. These words gave me the creeps. As you say. Nobody ever said anything like that to me. In any case, I think this is the best decision for now. Alright. I laid the sleeping bag on the ground and we sat on it. So what are we going to do? I don't know. I've never been so close to utter failure. No, I wasn't questioning my choice, but indeed I had no idea what to do next. What would you suggest? It would be nice to have something to eat. Have you brought anything with you? And that was exactly what I'd forgotten. No, I haven't. I replied slowly. That's fine. We kept sitting in silence. I wonder if they will look for us. For even if I do, they are unlikely to succeed. The forest is big enough. Bad food. By the evening I will get hungry too. Okay, stay here. I'll be right back. Where are you going? To get some food. Maybe we should go together? No, I'll be right back. I headed back to the camp at a rapid pace, leaving Slavia alone in the glade. I'm absolutely certain that she won't go anywhere and will wait for me. I wish I was as certain that I will remember the way back as well. Even they haven't started to look for both of us yet, then surely they will have found out that Slavia is missing, so I have to move carefully and try not to get noticed. In general, every single pioneer was a treat now, not only those who knew me. Such an obvious kidnapping will surely be known to everyone in no time. And while getting to the cantina in few sprints was not hard at all, I had no idea what to do next. I can't just walk in there like nothing happened. Are you hiding there? I almost jumped out of my skin. Ulyan was standing behind me. Getting hungry! She stared at me. Come on, why so quiet? I was tongue-tied for a moment and couldn't think of an answer. So why have you come? I was just hungry. I want to get something for Slavia. Well, maybe she doesn't know about anything. Oh, really? Yeah, really. Okay, I'll be right back. Much to my surprise, Ulyan didn't ask any awkward questions. In the blink of an eye, she zipped out of sight through the doors of the canteen. I was wondering whether I should trust her and wait, or I should flee before she returned me back up. However, Ulyan interrupted my doubts quickly as she reappeared in a couple of minutes with a plastic bag in her hands. Here you go! The bag was full of bones and had a few packs of kefir in it. But why? Well, because it's brave and cool! She smiled slyly. Best regards to Slavia. Ulyan waved goodbye and ran away. I stood there for some time in confusion, but then went back to the forest. It was completely unlike Ulyana, but frankly speaking, I was thankful to her. In the end, I couldn't get food by myself during the day without getting myself into trouble. Upon getting back to the glade, I found Slavia sitting on the sleeping bag in the exact same pose. Here, I gave the bag to her. You got it so fast, she said excitedly. Well, I found help. Slavia gave me a questioning look, but I didn't go into details. We ate busily without saying a word. I sighed with satisfaction in the end. Good, really good. Yeah, agreed Slavia. What are we going to do now? Maybe you should have any suggestions. About what? Well, at least about how to deal with the camp leader. I don't know. And are you sure? Yeah, I am. I interrupted her. This is an act of protest after all. She must be aware that she can't order me. I stuttered. Order us around. I feel like I've said something stupid. Even if I was indeed Olga Dmitrievna's errand boy, Slavia was... You're funny! She gave a cute smile. Yeah. We could just go and talk with her. But if you want to sit here and wait, I'm fine with it. I tried to talk to her. Are you sure you did the right way? What is the right way? To be honest, I didn't know the answer. Such awkward talks were always something of an insurmountable task for me. I bet if I knew how to deal with such cases, things would go another way. Of course, since I was afraid and blaming myself, there was no chance to be confident. I don't know. Slavia burst into laughter. What? Navi, I just feel like a princess who was saved from the evil witch castle by Prince Charming. I looked at her carefully. While all this sounded quite romantic, I thought that what Slavia had just said was absolute nonsense. But generally, Olga Dmitrievna as an evil witch, it makes some sense. Yeah, the similarity is definitely there. I said it, spelling out every word. And princes are given no choice in such cases, usually. Slavia continued in a cryptic tone. Given no choice. That's impossible. It's me who has no choice here. Just sit and wait until I get back to my reality by some miraculous chance. Does Slavia have anything in common with me? She's a role model pioneer, hardworking and beautiful. She has hundreds, if not thousands of options. Probably this is the moment I've been dreaming about all my life. Such an unreachable girl as Slavia, not only sitting next to me, speaking and laughing, but completely depending on me. But is it a good or a bad thing? And what should I do next? There were more questions than answers. When it's hard enough to make a decision about my own life and take responsibility for my own actions. Thanks for the announcement, disappear. Alright, how could I do that for both of us? Before now, I'd kept myself distant from such problems in the hope of everything resolving on its own, without my input. But I couldn't act this way, now. And not even because of the fact that heaven only knows where and what it and in what time I was. You know, I could be wrong. Sav looked at me inquiringly. We won't achieve anything indeed by just sitting here. And not just that. It's stupid and childish. You were right. And what should we do then? Let's go. We got up. I took the sleeping bag and headed to the camp, holding Slavia by the hand. Soon we came to the square where Olga Dmitrievna was standing as if she was waiting for us. Long time no see, she said angrily. Do you have something to say to excuse yourself? I had nothing to justify, so we have no reason to justify. We have... Alright, this one, I replied calmly. Oh really? Okay then, so you think all of this is normal? Fine. She paused for a few moments and turned to Slavia. Go to your cabin. I understand that you're not the one to blame. Slavia didn't move an inch. She just lowered her eyes and held my hand even more tightly. Slavia! As you can see, she doesn't want to. What did you say to seduce her? Oh my god, I said nothing. I started losing my cool. Why do you think we've done something wrong? We haven't done anything. At all. As if I haven't seen it. She grinned. So, what have you seen? She paused, but continued a second later in the same tone. I've seen enough. Whoa, you are so good at drawing conclusions, getting a job in the secret police. Stop it with your rudeness! I didn't even think of starting it, I said sarcastically. Okay, your time is up and I'm not willing to continue this pointless argument. You're grounded till the end of the session. Oh really? And how are we going to manage that? I lock you down in the cabin. And what if I object? Olga Dmitrievna gave me a surprised look. It was just now that a crowd was gathering around us. I could spot Lena, Alisa, and Uliana in the crowd. What do you mean by object? Said the camp leader slowly. I meant exactly what I said. But you can't, a trupioner. Well, that means I'm a false one. Olga Dmitrievna paused as she was pulling herself together. You think I can't force you? And how would you do that? I laughed emphatically. Ignoring the various mystical forces that I was least cornered about right now, the camp leader indeed had absolutely no idea about enforcing anything. You know what? What? It looked like Olga Dmitrievna already understood that she had lost, but still couldn't admit her defeat because of her pride and her position of eldest and wisest in the whole camp. Komsomol was a young division of Communist Party. Young people who failed to join in generally were treated as outcasts in the society. Hey! I'll send a report to your school. You won't be accepted to the Komsomol. You won't be able to join the party. I had no way to respond against such serious threats. Accept it. You have no choice anyway. Slavia, who had kept silent until now, intervened in the matter. Olga Dmitrievna, why do you assume you're right from the start? Why is Semyon always blamed for everything? What's so special about what has happened? What have we done wrong? Are you even sure of what you are blaming us for? And if it was anyone other than me standing here, would you act the same way? Slavy, you should know that. That's the point. I know everything. I know you. I know that Semyon hasn't done anything wrong. I know you are prejudiced against him, without any clear reason, by the way, even though he's trying his best. Yeah, it looks awkward at times, but I know he puts all his energy and his heart into it, and you're going to blame him just because he's the way he is. I was charmed by Slavia's monologue, listening to it without really getting whether she was praising me, declaring facts, or starting her opinion, which is probably prejudiced. I guess her exact words flew over me. Just the melody of her voice was enough for me. It hypnotized and carried me away from this sick woman and stupid pioneer camp while calming and healing the wounds on my soul, in my soul. Okay, I don't know what to do with you anymore. Olga Dmitrievna, calm down a bit. But don't think that I approve of your behavior. She turned away, sliced through the crowd, and headed to her cabin. I expected a storm of applause like in American movies, but crowd started to dissolve quickly as the show came to its end. And Uliana just winked at me slyly. Well, you know, we kind of overdid it. I looked at Slavia, she was smiling. No, not at all. I'd be arguing with her until late at night and you nailed it right and clear. I wouldn't get the right words like that, even if I had an entire week to think. Oh, come on. What? It's the simple truth, not a trace of lies of flattery. She gazed into my eyes and burst out laughing. I just said first thing that came to my mind, and this is how it turned out. Your first thought is the right one. That's how the saying goes. I guess it is. I just noticed now that we are still holding each other by the hand. After feeling a bit awkward, I tried to pull my hand free, but Slavia didn't let me. This gave me the chills for a second. Where will we go? I had no desire to go back to my cabin. Strictly speaking, I didn't want to stay in the camp at all. What would you say if I suggested we return to the forest? Let's get an answer in the next episode. See you then! Bye!